Hey, hello. New episode, new day, new game. We got Commando today. Published and actually developed in-house by Capcom. I mentioned that this whole month that we're going into is a trio of Capcom games. And we've got slightly mixed results going in, but this one is actually in-house by them. So, Commando, like all of these games this month, and like most early NES games, is an arcade conversion. This game is, of course, most well known for, well, being a rock-solid arcade game, honestly. And being that this was developed by Capcom themselves and not outsourced, it's actually a pretty reasonable port itself. Now, I actually don't know if I've sat down and played Commando. I've definitely seen people play it before. I've played games very similar to it. But, in terms of me playing it, I don't know if I've actually ever done it. So, this is my first attempt here. Not too bad so far here. Now, again, not having played the arcade version, part of me wants to believe that, oh, ouch. That it was very likely a twin-stick shooter. Because, I mean, well, look at the controls that we're dealing with here. It would make sense for it to be a twin stick, because you're moving and you're shooting. If you got two sticks, hey, then that means that you'll have a much better time trying to get to what you're shooting at here. Whereas here, you know, you kind of got to choose. Are you going to move in a direction, or are you going to shoot in a direction? You can't have it both ways. You can't move up and then shoot down. And that is, you know, probably the NES's biggest fault, just in terms of hardware alone, is that, you know, it's a game that a lot of twin stick shooters were ported to it without having that element of the second stick. Like Smash TV was eventually ported to NES. We'll see that way later on down the line. But compared to the SNES version, it's really not a good version at all, because again, just kind of shoot in the direction that you're looking, which makes the game notably more difficult. So, we game over. That's fine. I expected it to happen. You know, it's not the easiest rendition of a Commando that you'll ever play. Still, I could have done worse there. I have immediately noticed that you do tend to get a little bit hung up on the terrain sometimes in this version. Okay, this is the ladder I was trying to get to previously here. Free this dude. That gets us some pointage. Kind of went over the ladder, which is odd. Alright, and immediately we bite the bullet. Quite literally. This definitely feels like a game where, oh yeah, you hold down that turbo button. Look at that. You can actually arc your shots a little bit like that. You can see they're kind of wavy when you move. That's actually surprisingly sophisticated for what I was expecting. Though considering that the NES did not have any kind of analog like a control, the fact that they were able to kind of spoof that with a digital controller is impressive. So we couldn't get those points there because we just kind of got fooled. There we go. That's where I was trying to land that here. Get to this ladder here. Don't get hung up on the terrain. Go down this ladder. What do we get here? We get more points. Alright. And so you're seeing generally what Commando is all about. So we should be able to get further this way. Oh, yeah. Look at this. It's free points. That's all it is, really. But again, you gotta kind of walk into them pretty deliberately, lest you just get hung up on the terrain. It's probably the one thing I would say this game could have definitely improved on. And I've said it before, I don't feel guilty for using the turbo buttons. You know, provided you have the correct controller, you could easily do this on your regular NES as well. We could go back down there again, but I, quite frankly, don't think that there's a ton of point to that. Ah, see, we got hung up on the palm tree. It didn't kill us, fortunately, but, it certainly got me into a minor moment of panic. Alright, getting past that bridge. That's our first big challenge, apparently. We just kind of keep running right into bullets here. We're falling into that trap of getting incredibly greedy for kills to where we completely forget about any kind of sense of self-preservation. But hey, that's the way to do it, you know? If you're not getting greedy for kills, then why bother? Because if you don't get greedy, then you might actually survive, you know? Yep, see? Like right there, I knew... Oh, no, I didn't even see the bullet that got me there. I thought I had dodged one, but then I walked right into another one. I'm a level with you. We could be stuck on stage 1-1 for quite a while. Now, I'm gonna tell you immediately, from experience, this is definitely not the worst twin-stick shooter conversion on the NES. I own one that we will see. Okay, yeah, our free points are all gone here. There is no reason to come down here. You can't just keep looping and getting the points for freeing these dudes. If anything, that just set us back. But hey, you gotta experiment. You know, you gotta try it out and see how it operates. Familiarizing yourself with the logic of a game is important. Familiarizing yourself with what it does and does not accept. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. We just crushed the entire field there. Oh ho ho ho. That dude's trying to get cute. We were able to get behind him though. Should probably be utilizing our grenades a little bit more, but quite frankly, I feel like they're kind of a trap. Like if you're throwing a grenade, then you stopped shooting, you know? And shooting is important in this game. I mean, it's pretty much the only thing that you can do besides move. Ah! Okay, game over, but we did get further that time. We're used to this in this series at this point, right? Yeah, you keep dying, and every time you die, you get a little bit further on your next attempt. Oh, one player continue! I think that's what that means. And yet, we kind of, you know, start way back here. Well, you know, because we never actually beat stage 1-1. I'm hoping that that is a continue, and that if we do beat 1-1, that it will benefit us. I always appreciate when these older games have continues, you know. Call me a baby, call me a wimp. Quite frankly, it just values your time a little bit more when it allows you to pick up where you left off. Set my score to 0, that's fine. I'll accept a degree of a consequence for my terrible actions. Yeah, refill on those grenades. That's gonna be necessary. Your grenades are your friends. We'll be able to free this guy this time pretty easily. Yeah, look at that. The game runs well, though. You know, there is a fair amount of sprite flicker, which I just kind of expect at this point. Like, if there's sprite flicker, I'm like, oh yeah, he lives here. We all accept that he's here. Alright, new run, new pointage. The prisoners of war are fair game again. You know, it's kind of a lull in the action here, you know, a little slower pace, you move at one speed. But again, the game runs well, though. Outside of getting occasionally hung up on the terrain, which what can you really do about that? I suppose program it with a little more love and care. But, again, this game being developed by Capcom themselves is a boon, and you'll see what I'm talking about in our next couple episodes here, I promise you that. You will have answers if you're not already familiar with the Capcom lore. Which, if you're not, you know, that's why we're doing this series. To learn new things. I'm gonna learn plenty of things too. I'm gonna play games I've never played before, and I mean, like right here. Just got done telling you I've never actually played Commando. It seems weird to me that I haven't, because, I mean, it's such a well-known title. Like, everyone has heard of Commando. Well, probably not everyone. I'm probably being a little... Probably drawing assumptions here, but... I don't apologize for it. Alright, bonus points. I think that's all that was. Oh, okay, look at this. Look at this. What is going on here? He's waving the white flag. We just get to walk right past? Is that what that means? Or we gotta kill his... Okay, we had to kill his last goon. That should bring us to stage 1-2. Broke the first area. Now rush to the second area. It's a simple plot, you know? Perfect rescue. We rescued everybody that we could have rescued, apparently. I assume that that's what that means, and yet I feel like I may have still missed somebody despite that. Alright, the sprite flicker. It's getting a little more heavy this stage. Ooh, that was my bad. That was a very slow bullet on a crash course to me that I very easily could have avoided had I been paying marginal amounts of attention. Don't get run over by the cars. I don't know if they'll actually hurt you if they touch you. I'm just assuming they do, and quite frankly, I think it's a safe assumption to make. Trench warfare here, you know, we just ignore the trenches. We don't even give the trenches a moment of our time. The sound is going so nuts that the music has not found an opportunity to start playing again. There we go. Ah, no, we got a little too close to that boy's trench. It's alright. Ladies and gentlemen, we found a problem. Okay, I had to move backwards. I was gonna say, I got instantly spawn killed by whoever was in that trench. Maybe not the greatest respawn point of all time. Just, if I may make a suggestion, maybe avoid that in the future. We got the rocket launchers. They're all here. But I've got the grenades. So what now? That's a machine gun nest over there, you know, I'd like to avoid that. Well, they don't appear to be shooting at me. The machine gun nests, they couldn't care less about my presence. And yes, it's couldn't care less, not could care less. If you could care less, it means you do care. Yes, I'm going to die on that hill during an episode of Commando, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. I am not sure what to do about these guys, other than just, you know, ignore them. It seems to be a prudent course of action. The game's not so bad as long as you mash this turbo button, I'm telling you. It helps a lot. Okay, the grenade definitely got rid of the shield dude. Broke the second area. Now rush to the third area, as we suspected would likely happen as a result. And again, you know, I'm pleased with what I'm playing here. It's a functional game, and it's a little bit different from what we've played before. This is our first twin-stick game on the NES, I believe. Unless I forgot something terribly obvious that I played, but I don't think I am. You know, despite what I said about twin-stick games kind of being at their worst on the NES, it's fine. We accept what we can get at this point. With all of the knowledge that things might not necessarily be perfect. Well, they range from perfect to being outright bad, actually. And don't worry, we don't have anything outright bad this month, but we do certainly have some missed opportunities. I say month, but you know, again, that's retail release month, not literal real-life month. Don't worry, we're not going to have a sea of missed opportunities. Just a couple one-offs. Look at these barracks, man. How many guys can they fit in here? Oh ho! You can actually go into the barracks. Okay, or at least this one. I don't know if they're all interactive like that. I wouldn't expect them to be. Yeah, like that one wasn't. So, you know, it's the kind of game, it's full of little secrets. You gotta kind of know where they are to access them. That's why they're referred to as secrets, I would imagine. Oh. Alright, we've game over. That was a decent run. We broke 100K. Now let's see if this one-player CONT is a continue. It is a continue! Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, sets you back to 0 points, as I had anticipated. But we do get to actually see more of the game. which is the entire point of this series, you know, is to just see as much as we can in 1 hour. So who am I to start from zero? That's not high quality entertainment, unless that's what you prefer. Unless you prefer just watching a man grind out the same stuff for an hour, which there's a market for that. I'm not gonna pretend there isn't. I feel like we just like skipped to the next checkpoint. I think that's exactly what happened, actually. Okay, okay. Again, the sound effects were overpowering the music audio, which is always kind of amusing. Okay. Ah! We made it back to the barracks of death, and then we ate it. This is a tricky stage here, not gonna lie. There's a lot of bodies on screen. It would definitely take a true commando to survive in this kind of enemy territory. That's why the game is called Commando. Hilariously enough, this game got an Atari 2600 port. You knew it had to happen. You knew it was out there somewhere. So if you thought that, you know, a gamepad with 2 buttons was a bummer of a way to play a twin-stick shooter, yeah, just imagine a joystick with 1 button. Oh. It's hard to aim the grenades, you know? You gotta be just the perfect distance away. And eventually, you figure it out. There we go! Stage 1-3 defeated. It's no problem. This story, man. It's an intense story. Getting pretty pathetic rescue bonuses, you know? We're not finding those secret areas, but it's fine. Okay, they've sent all of their rocket launchers out to deal with us. And you know what? I don't even mind them, because as far as I can tell, they can only shoot down. So as long as you stay away from them horizontally, they can't hurt you. Alright, ladder time. What do we got down here? We got some spooky-ass music is what we've got. I'm quaking in my boots right now. Oh ho, look at this. Actual bad guys. Not just prisoners of war to rescue. Well, that's a $10,000 bonus there. And another $10,000 bonus. Dollars. We'll pay you per baddie you wipe out. Could there be anything more American? We're combining combat with capitalism. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if that's a thing. I don't know. I've clearly never been in the military. How could you tell? Okay. I get it. You know, mortars. Very cute. It's alright. As far as I can tell, if you just keep moving, the mortars can't conceivably hurt you. Oh, the sprite flicker is getting real now. It's getting a little more difficult to tell what's going on here. Ah, yeah, that was a lot of bullets. Wasn't even that many bullets. I mean, it's not like we're playing a bullet hell shooter right now. This isn't Ikaruga, not Dan Maku Unlimited, and we just fell down a hole. Not my proudest way of dying. Sure, man, just walk right off the level. That'll do it. Okay. Just focus on not dying. Yeah, this is probably some of the worst sprite flicker that I've seen on the NES so far. I mean, you know, due to a large reason being that we just haven't played games that are that busy or complicated yet. Like, most of what we've played have been pretty basic little experiments. But no, Commando, there's a lot going on. The NES is kind of struggling to process all of it in one go here. We've got the fuel. See, look at this. This is my fire rate when I mash the B button, and this is when I hold down turbo. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Oh, okay. We had just a brief amount of stoppage there. I'm not sure if that would have happened on an original card or not, but the game, for a split second, gave up on existing. Again, I went for the kill instead of going for the not being shot in the face. Not an advisable move, actually. Shockingly enough. Now, I don't have an NES controller with a turbo function, so if I were to get a cartridge of this and play it on my actual NES, I'd be in dire straits, you know. I wouldn't just be able to hang on to my turbo crutch here. I'd have to mash that B button like my life depended on it. Which, I mean, it'd still be beatable, I'm sure. Obviously, I'm sure it's been done. Does that work against them? Okay, I got one of them out of there. Like the sound of the sirens from that tower. Oh god, they're still going. Good enough, good enough. You don't gotta get every single baddie in here, despite what you've conditioned yourself to believe. But, you know, how do you not, right? How do you just avoid them? It's impossible. Okay, things are getting hairy here. I'd love to beat this so we can continue not from the very start of this level, because we are down to 0 lives, you know, in case you are having troubles counting. Oh, gotta be a little bit higher up there. Just a little bit. We nailed him! Yeah! Okay, that was exactly what I wanted to see. And we burned the entire base down. So it's gotta be the end of, yeah, congratulations! Your first mission is all over. We did it. We beat the first mission, so this would, I imagine, bring us on to, mission 2. I don't know how many missions are in this game, but I'm sure the answer is enough. Look at this. Our victorious helicopter flight. Ah, well, you know, that wasn't a very long flight at all. We're already here on mission 2. It's feeling a little bit similar to mission 1, I may say. Got the points from that before it despawned. Feels good, man. Definitely the same tile set, you know, the whole desert and palm trees motif. Ooh. And we finally died. It was gonna happen eventually, you know. Don't get too bent up out of shape over that. But yes, we are on 2-1, can confirm. the palm tree just absorbing every shot that we've got. Forget sandbags, man. You want a true defensive option in your war? Plant some palm trees. Might take a while for them to sprout up, but it's worth it. They're impenetrable. I don't know why I switched to the D-pad there. You know, it's a little more finite, you know, being that this game is, again, designed with a digital input in mind. Probably not the arcade version, but this one certainly. Yeah, this is feeling very, very similar to Mission 1. It is the same layout. Except there was no ladder there. But I was gonna say, I recognize that bridge. We got stuck on this checkpoint for a long time. Unimpressive. It's kind of a mindless game, you know? You walk around, you shoot, and not a whole lot more to it. Which is fine. I mean, I can't knock a game for being mindless. That was bad. When I willingly play Dynasty Warriors, so. I cry every time. Definitely more enemies on screen, you know, that would make sense. You go to mission 2, rack up that difficulty a little bit. Unless I'm just, you know, imagining things, but I sincerely doubt that. Because I have no imagination. Hey, got him. I'm not proud of these deaths, as you may very well imagine. I wonder what the most proud death in gaming is. Like, when is a time when you die, something that you're really proud of? Maybe if it's an intentional death in a sick new speedrun strat that you just found that nobody else figured out? Can confirm, no ladder there. I thought maybe I just aimed it weird the previous time and that's why it didn't spawn, but no. Ah, shoot! I thought things were going fairly well, but it's hard to dodge the bullets when they're flickering, you know? That's where the sprite flicker really becomes an actual gameplay problem and not just a graphical quirk, is when you can no longer see what you're trying to dodge. And a lot of that, don't get me wrong, is just because I'm not that great at the game. Okay, no, I thought I could free them and then go back for the ladder, but it's not so. Okay. I know I'm not talking, but you know, I'm focused. Look at that! You aim yourself right. You just aim down. You just hold down that turbo button, and nothing can stop you at that point. You just completely trounce them. That's a true feels good man moment. Okay, the cars are getting a little crazy, getting a little flickery, hard to see them. Perhaps taking the left path would be more advisable. Don't necessarily know. So here's the question, if a sprite flickers and no one ever saw it, is it still there? There's probably an actual technical answer for that, and it's probably yes, it is still there. Like, I'm talking if one flickers so badly that, like, you never even see it. Can it still kill you? Is its presence still there, code-wise? I would have to imagine that would probably depend on the game, right? Like, probably depend entirely on the programming of what you're doing. Okay. Just hold it together, man. Just hold it together. Don't choke now. Yeah, see, like, that's right there. I definitely didn't kill that soldier, but he flickered and then he vanished. And I felt like, had he not flickered, I definitely would have been a dead man. Okay, that's the white flag, and we're good. We didn't get the points from that toxic waste barrel or whatever that is, but it's fine. I'm not worried about it. That second area, I seem to have not a lot of problems with that one. I got through that pretty easily on Mission 1 as well. Call me a 1-2 or a 2-. Just call me an X-2 genius. Here we go. I mean, I don't think I made it totally clean. I think I still died once or twice, but I didn't game over there. I have yet to game over on X-2. We have like 35 grenades. That's insane. Ah! It's a true tragedy. So, how's your day going? Play any good games? I beat Code Vein. I don't know if I said that last episode or not. I may have been too busy being so pogged over how decent Ninja Kid was to never even mention that. Solid 7 out of 10 game. Kind of game that doesn't do anything groundbreaking, doesn't like wow you while you're playing it, but has moments of, hey, that's pretty good. Good enough to where I never felt like dropping it, so as far as I'm concerned, that's the case of a pretty good game. If you're able to play the whole thing without getting tired of it, good on you. You made a very passable game. And passable almost sounds like a backhanded compliment, but I just wanna, you know, make it aware that's not what I intend at all by saying that. I mean, like, no, like, it's rock solid. Not every game is rock solid. Some games have a very mushy, disgusting foundation that you never want to touch again. No, it's not a secret! Don't go in that one. Don't go in any of these. Just keep moving. Keep moving. Now is no time to hunt for secrets. Now is the time to get your ass in gear and, destroy all the people. May I say, though, what an abysmal military tactic. Hey, let's send one dude into, deep into enemy territory. I mean, you know, I get that's kind of the point of the game, and that's what makes it fun, is that, you're all alone. And it's all up to you to be the big badass hero of the day. It's a power fantasy. And what good are video games if they're not a little bit of a power fantasy, right? Maybe that's again why I don't like those games where you're helpless. Games where you can't do anything about your opponents. Because they're not power fantasies. They're struggle fantasies. Like, dude, I live that every day of my life. I don't need that in video game form. I don't need to emulate that. I'm already helpless. Ah. No. It's games like, Prototype and Just Cause, where you're just an unstoppable maniac who can just destroy everything in your path. I get that Just Cause is not always the most well-received series, but, hey. It's good, simple fun for what it is. Just Cause 1 is a little, you know, on the low-tech side, but hey, that game, I think it came out on both the OG Xbox and the 360, so that gives you an idea of the age of it. And the fact that Just Cause 1 was able to run on the OG Xbox at all is actually kind of remarkable. I say that, and yet, when you really think about it, the Xbox was an impressive system. I mean, look at Halo. Halo was not an open world game, so to say, but when you played levels like, like the second level in the whole game, just the level Halo, that was amazing. It sure felt open world, even though it wasn't. Just because, you know, it was so wide open, it was not a corridor shooter, despite what the Pillar of Autumn may have made you believe. And even then, if you want to talk open world, Morrowind, man. The fact that Morrowind ran on the Xbox more or less uncompromised is pretty remarkable. Yeah, the loading times were worse than the PC, but all the features were intact. Didn't have modding, of course, but even then, I'm sure if somebody really wanted to, they could probably find a way to make it happen. That's why every time nowadays, when a game gets released on a console and a PC, everyone's always like, oh, it's gonna be dumbed down for consoles. It's like, yo, that's no guarantee. Just because Deus Ex Invisible War happened does not mean every game is gonna be dumbed down just because it's on a console. Look at, oh heck, you want an even older example. StarCraft 64. Absolutely immense example of a console port that went remarkably intact. Yeah, you didn't get any online play with like a BattleNet, but as long as you had a memory expansion in like in your N64, you got the entire original StarCraft campaign and the Brood War campaign, as far as I know, pretty much unchanged. Yes, a little bit of graphical changes here and there just to make the game work. But if you've ever... That's the second time I've been wiped out by that car. But if you've ever played StarCraft 64, it's actually amazing how they made it function. Like, yes, real-time strategy games will always be better with a mouse and keyboard. Pretty much universally. But the control scheme... Gosh, every time with that one. But the control scheme that they gave it to try to make it function better on a console was admirable. Like, if you play StarCraft on a PC, you can select 12 units at a time, and that's it. If you want to control more, you have to group them, which is fine. You can work with that. But the N64, I'm pretty sure it just lets you command as many units at a time as you want, which is sweet. Definitely helps with the micromanagement side when you're using an N64 controller, which, if we're being very honest, is probably not your ideal go-to when you're talking about real-time strategy control schemes. But the N64 did also get Command and Conquer. I'm not sure how that port was. I have not played it. I have not heard much about it. But to get two different real-time strategy games like that, not bad. Now that said, the PlayStation 1 also got Command and Conquer, and it got Red Alert, and it got Warcraft 2. That's not bad either. The Sega Saturn got Warcraft 2 as well, I believe. Those are all versions, like, I already own all those games through various means, but I really want the console versions just for the novelty of them. Like, I really want an actual StarCraft 64 cartridge. I played it at a friend's once, so that's how I know how it plays. But I'd love to have a copy for myself, just because, you know, it's such a little oddity. This level kicks my ass, by the way. We're not getting anything done here. Ah! Eh! Eh! Same thing with Diablo 1. Diablo 1 got a PlayStation 1 port as well. It was just that period where Blizzard was like, let's try console ports, let's see what happens. And you know what? As far as I know, they were all pretty well done. But no, I like those little novelties. I like novelty ports like that. Stuff that, it's like, why did they do it? Who cares? It's just interesting that they did do it. Boy, this is a mess. This is an absolute mess we found ourselves in. We could just stand here infinitely and just shoot bad guys until we grind out one extra life, but you know, that seems counterintuitive. Like, we'd be wasting more time than if we just game overed and started from the beginning, right? Oh, man. I don't know if it's necessarily more enemies on screen, but holy cow, they are definitely shooting more frequently. I don't think that that's a question. There are many, many bullets on screen right now. Okay, we're back to this point here. Just avoid the mortars, just keep walking. Don't get smashed by this car. There you go. You gotta just kind of go backwards, you know. Sometimes you gotta go back to progress forwards. It's some I'm 14 and this is deep kind of material for you there. Chill out with the bullets, man. I get it. You guys have guns. Me too. See, I'm... Ah! That was a stray. Okay, no more attempts until we game over. It's gonna happen. Hey, we got that extra life! And we're using that extra life. Did we actually go backwards? Wow, yes we did. We actually went back to a previous checkpoint. That's how poorly we did on that life. Well, today I learned that can happen. I shouldn't even be surprised, you know. These games exist to make a mockery of you. But yeah, now that I finished my Code Vein playthrough, I am resuming my Fallout 3 playthrough that I started and put down to start Code Vein. And boy, the memories of that game. And you know, I'm realizing too that even back when I used to play Fallout 3 all the time, I didn't even come close to doing everything that there was to do. Like, on this playthrough, I'm already encountering locations that I've never seen before. I believe I said this on an earlier episode that I'm planning on doing all the DLCs that I had never touched. So it, you know, even though it's an older game that I've played before, it still feels like a new experience. And you know, it's the mark of a real good game right there, I think. I know some people take some issues with Fallout 3. Some people will always prefer New Vegas, and that's perfectly fine. New Vegas is a hell of a game. I'm planning on doing a playthrough of that once I'm done with Fallout 3, and I still have to get Death Stranding out of the way as well. I got a lot of games in my backlog. It's not to mention that I'm probably going to pick up Ghost of Tsushima as well. And none of these are particularly short games. These are not beat 'em on a lazy Saturday games. These are like go at them for a month or two at a time. So, you know, they're kind of a time commitment, but if it's all time well spent, who cares how much time you spend with it, right? Ah! Yeah, this level, it's getting to me. It was pretty tough on Mission 1 as well, but Mission 2... 2-4? It's no joke, man. And I'm not sure how much of it is gonna boil down to memorization, because I'm not sure how randomized these spawns are. I admittedly haven't been paying much attention. But clearly with the bullet dodging, you know, you just gotta optimize your own movement and, well, for lack of a better term, get good. Which I have not been doing. Not been getting nearly as good as I should be getting. However, removing the machine gun nest will certainly help. And then, you know, we just apparently wait for some of the other soldiers to just flicker off screen. That's no good. Hey, at least we respawned right here. So we got that going for us. That car, I keep forgetting about it, right? Like, I die to it and then I remember, oh yeah, I have to wait for it to pass and then move on. But then I game over and start from the beginning and then totally forget about it again. You know, it's on me. I can really only blame myself for dying to that car all the time. They say don't hate the player, hate the game, but I think that's kind of an absurd statement when used specifically in the context of video games. Players can make or break a game. You, the player, you are responsible for your own mistakes. Some games are just bad, and you know you're bad at them no matter what you try. But for the most part, hey, take responsibility. In the case of multiplayer games, played a lot of real fun games that have been ruined by real not fun players. So nah, man, hate the player. That's what I say. If they're ruining your experience, they're the problem, not the game. Ah, the cart! I heard the sound, and I was like, oh no. I'm gonna get run over, aren't I? And, yeah, I got run over. And then I do it again. The problem is I get so preoccupied, I get so just like... I get so just flooded in the brain by everything else that's going on that, like, I only concentrate on one thing at a time. But again, that's part of the challenge! Managing everything! I'd like to get to Mission 3, you know? You still got a good 15 minutes to make it happen. There's no reason we can't make it happen, but, you know, this game ain't a pushover either. Dying that early isn't going to do you any favors. Don't mean to drop any controversial hot takes, but, you know, that's how I see it. Thank you, bullets phasing out, by the way. They've been... So I think that's our answer. If a sprite flickers out, yeah, the sprite is gone. It no longer exists in the logic of the game. Okay, car. Yeah, there you go, there you go. That's how you handle it. And then you stay far on this side to avoid that motorcycle. Cross over here to grab these, or okay, or don't grab the grenades. The grenades are really finicky with being picked up. I'm sure you've noticed. This is a good sign. We're making better progress than we have in a long, long, long time. We're in the air raid sirens. That means that we are very close to the final encounter of this stage. There we go. You gotta love getting those double kills with those grenades, you know? That's... Ah, no! It's okay. We still got lives. Oh, yeah, look at that. We respawned pretty much directly where we died, too, so... That's a little bit of a mulligan. A mulligan or a gimme. I don't know. Could argue with that, it's either. 2,000 points for the man in the green. Extra life, just to, you know, give us a little bit of backbone on this. And we're good! Yeah! Alright, Mission 3 coming at you hot. I mean, we've more or less seen most of what the game has to offer. We're just going to seek it progressively more difficult from here on out, but we've seen the layouts. If there's no difference between Mission 1 and 2, there's not going to be any difference between Mission 2 and 3. At least, that's how I'm feeling. Take our little victory ride. Alright, what you got for me now? Just more insane amounts of bullets, I would imagine. Hey, a ladder! Bring me down. We gotta save Bob. Or is that Private Ryan that we're helping out? What a tiny little secret. One troop to save? Don't make me laugh. You saw that. You saw that dodge. That was a skillful bullet dodge followed up by a dodge of no real skill at all. Gotta make it over to that side. No! It's fine. Don't concern yourself so much with it. I mean, you know, may as well. It's still 1,000 free points, no matter which way you look at it. There's no reason to not free them. Unless you just really want to be a giant jerk and say, you got yourself in this mess, you can get yourself out. Shout out to Faye Valentine refusing to feed the dog. That's right, I'm watching Cowboy Bebop. First time watching it. I'm a big Space Dandy fan. Everyone says if you like Space Dandy, you gotta watch Cowboy Bebop, man. So I'm like, alright, I'll give it a go. Alright, the secrets are back to where they were in Mission 1. You guys owe me for going out of my way to free you all. I also did finish the original Mobile Suit Gundam. I'm now on Mobile Suit Gundam Zeta. Gotta say, it's amazing what 5 years in between those two series does for the video and audio like fidelity. Zeta looks and sounds so much better, and the storytelling is a little more, we'll say, sophisticated as well. And that's not to say that you can't previously tell like sophisticated stories, of course, but you know, the art of it gets a little more streamlined. I'm only 6 episodes into it, but I'm definitely liking it more than the original. Which I don't think is a hot take. I think pretty much everyone says Zeta is better. Don't get me wrong, the main character is so far insufferable. Camille, he's he's so obnoxious. He's so mad all the time. Hey, look at this. We're making pretty good moves here. Oh! I don't know how I didn't die there. I should have been a dead man, undoubtedly. Yo, look at that! I got the money bag and didn't die. Ooh, wow. I feel pretty good about that. I think that was a mildly impressive moment right there. Perfect rescue, that's another 20,000 points. Look at that. If we somehow set a new high score on Mission 3, I'm gonna feel like a dandy boy. I don't think it's gonna happen, though. Normally, we've historically been alright on stage 2, but, you know, this is Mission 3. Things are different here. Again, you just wait for it to show up and then leave. Almost got backed up by that truck. No good. I do feel like it yet again pushed us ahead a little bit, though. But yeah, I'm not going to survive this stage. I don't want to sound... I want to sound like things are dire, but I know how it works. I know my limits. I knew I was going to get finally gunned down. Game over in stage 2. I'm not going to let it ruin my life or anything. Okay. You know, and again, that sprite, I don't even think that was there to begin with. That just, you know, kind of magically appeared. And yeah, we could grenade all these trenches. But, not necessary. Motorcycle mania going on here, by the way. We've all seen it before. Ah. Remember, go down immediately, yes, or else you fall in the trench and die. Or get popped up by an enemy in the trench. We've seen that happen before. Still gonna tell you, Capcom, you have not taken my advice to heart. You have not fixed that in the patch. I know you are undoubtedly patching this game to this day. See, everybody who complains about games coming out unfinished and then being fixed later, I to a degree do understand the sentiment, but at the same time, games have literally always come out with a degree of unfinishedness. Games have always come out with things missing or things being very bugged. But back in the day when it used to happen, like back in this day right here, there was no fixing it. gamers are in this very fickle in-between point where they don't want crunch culture to exist in video games, but they also expect all video games to come out in a timely fashion with no bugs. Which, it's kind of a fantasy world. You're not going to see it happen. If you want a game to come out as refined as possible, teams are going to crunch to make it happen, because publishers are not going to wait on you forever to develop your game. They're going to eventually say, you gotta get this game out the doors because we've been waiting for long enough. And as such, you have two options. You can either make everybody work all hands on deck to make it as great as possible at that last moment, or you can patch it later. I think a lot of gamers really just kind of are unaware of how things operate. And I'm not trying to, insult an entire, demographic. I mean, I'm part of that demographic, obviously. But at the same time, it's easy to think that we know what's going on. It's easy for everyone to be an armchair expert about something. At the end of the day, it's far more complicated than that. So, I'm fine with the world where games can come out, maybe not work perfect on day one, but after a month, get a patch and then work better. Because, look at stuff like this. Commando, the NES version of Commando will always have sprite flicker. It will always have questionable checkpoints. Those things will never change if you buy a cartridge of Commando for the NES. They will never be any different. And there are some far more broken games with far more egregious issues that demonstrate that point just as well. So no, I don't think it's a negative thing that we live in a world where things are fixed later in patches. I know I'm not a shill. I'm not being like, oh, you should support big company because this reason. No, I'm not telling you what to buy and what not to buy. Whoa, what's that? This is a bizarre place to find a secret. I just melted right into the wall. It's like 6,000 points in here, though. Pretty good. You like that? That very, very basic math? You didn't think I could do it after Donkey Kong Jr. math. But I'm here to prove you all wrong. By the way, out of all of the videos that I've done in the past 2 weeks, for some reason that one has the most views. I don't get it. I don't understand you people. Yeah. Just keep blowing things up. No, I wanted the points. I shouldn't have gone for them. It's always a trap. Every single time you do it. It's just coaxing you into danger. I love it. Aha, what did I say? It's a trap? Yeah, it was still a trap. The grenades raining down from the bridge above are trying to remind me of my hubris. Got an extra life, so we get an extra little try in this absolutely miserable cacophony of death that we found ourselves in. Cacophony or cornucopia? They could both be used, I think. Don't mind me, just battling internally about the vocabulary that I'm going to utilize. Pretty sad day right there. It'd be a shame if we were to game over. We game overed. Well, that's it. We have 30 seconds left of the video, so there's no sense in starting another run now. We're going to call that good enough. So how do I feel about Commando? It's a simple game. It's a very simple game. You move, you shoot, you go for a high score. You can continue if you want, but you're going to lose your high score. Which one's more important to you, progressing further or making that arbitrary number higher? That's entirely up to you, I would say. Looks like this does have 2-player support. I can only imagine that the sprite flicker would be even worse with that, but if you want to shoot things up with a friend, you absolutely can. Decent little game. Again, developed in-house by Capcom, ported over by Capcom themselves. What do we have next on the docket, you may ask? I hope you're all giddy about this, because next is one of the most infamously difficult games of its time. It's Ghosts and Goblins. So as always, I hope that you join me for the next episode of 60 Minutes to Lose. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you again.